Hi there, everybody. I'm Simon Collins.
I'm Dave Kersner.
And we are Sound of Contact, and you are watching Morow. First of all, Dimensionaut is a science fictional character we've created, a human being capable of existing in multiple dimensions, traveling space and time. And this is our character that we've created, and we take this, we've injected a lot of our own personal, life experiences to bring life to this character. But it's an interesting parallel because we've got this science fiction based character living in this futuristic science fiction world, but he's actually a man with no name on a path to enlightenment. It's actually quite a spiritual story and journey. But
not necessarily in a specific religious sense.
No,
but
spiritual,
more of a
universal sense.
Well, essentially, I mean, he's got these challenges through. Each song sort of has its own sub story.
Each song is an episode.
Yeah. Like as if it was a movie. It's very actually cinematic and film score like. But but a lot of them it deals with the struggles between these amazing abilities to travel here. He could do anything. He can go back in time. He can maybe right wrongs in his life or just have the perfect life theoretically. But then he's got his own pain that he carries with him and the loneliness
and trying to make sense of your new reality. Because it's a radical evolution, trying to make sense of the fact that you have the entire universe at your fingertips, but still trying to stay grounded as a human being and keep the things that are real and as a human being that are important, the most fundamental, most important things as a human being, love and all these elements in life. And it's the story of one man's journey. It can be a very lonely journey. And he goes through the dark stuff to get to the light. And so it's, without giving too much away.
Yeah, you'll see in that we have a music video for the first song release called Not Coming Down. And you'll see in the videos too, you have the booklet and you have the lyrics printed in the booklet. There's even some poetry added to it. We also have some other things that will eventually be released, passages and stuff. Yeah. But the videos themselves have pieces of the story fleshed out so you can see. And so with Not Coming Down, it has what Simon's talking about with this spiritual poverty, which is basically the character Dimensionaut played by Simon in the video, going through these struggles being a Dimensionaut and just kind of like his own secret, almost like being a freak and fighting it and fighting people. Yeah, well, he lights up, and there's some weird things that happen. You'll see in the video, but it's this kind of like rejecting the I don't want all these powers. It's like
almost like an part of an acceleration theory.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like half human, half this other thing. I mean, there's hints of the sort of superhero, superhuman thing, but he doesn't go fighting crime though. It's not that kind of a thing. But
no, it's not cheesy.
It's not cheesy. People love it, but it just isn't. It's not a comic book. Well, we might make it a comic book.
We have a lot of really interesting
but it is somebody that's basically a science fiction character that's from the future that has this evolved ability, yet he is still human.
There's different stages from the impetus of coming up with the concept. Kelly and I spent a lot of time just researching. We knew we wanted to do a science fiction concept album, so we knew that we had to understand a few things about actual science, nonfiction. Just kind of digging into cosmology and quantum physics and astrophysics and astronomy and some of the basic stuff, just to have a platform to work on. And so a lot of lyrics were written at that stage, poetry, which actually some of that is on the actual album. In the booklet you can read the instrumentals. Actually, all have passages of poetry, words along to them. So that was one phase, and then when we decided we all wanted to actually do this and do a record together, we got together in Miami and just started just going through all our ideas. Dave had an enormous amount of amazing material just sitting on it. And I was a little, for me, I just finished my third solo album, so for me it was actually kind of exciting because I was starting fresh. I had a blank canvas to work with musically. A few ideas floating about, but what Dave brought to the table was a mountain of amazing material, and of course, musically is one thing, but lyrically, of course, I had to make sense of the concept. So, lyrically was a different process, but
Well, I had one song was probably the most fleshed out, was "Not Coming Down,"
right,
which I had originally started writing after Kevin Gilbert's death, the person I had played with, and this, my feelings about how fragile life is, and that one step and that's it. You cross that line,
right.
and whoops, you're not coming down, you're not coming back. And I had played that one for Simon, just how the state that I had it in, and he said, let's work on this. We could fit this into the character. He could relate to it. Everyone can relate to it because it's something that's like can happen to anybody. It doesn't. I mean, it could be alcohol abuse or something like that, or it could be like walking into the street one day or being careless, or whatever it is, getting hit by a car. So life, and it served a purpose within the story as well for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then there was a lot of other material that I had that literally was just partial ideas, melody lines, no words fleshed out yet. And it really did suit itself for I write in a lot of different styles, but I had this kind of like style that was, sort of progressive rock, this part of the Sound of Contact where there's more keyboards and things. And Simon was able, it was just amazing to me because it was literally like a piece of a puzzle that's been missing for years. And I run a sound company where it's called Sonic Reality. We create sounds for a lot of musicians use, actually Tony Banks, Stephen Wilson, a lot of those guys use my products. And I want to use my products too, so I want to make music, but it was like, I sing, but it's like I don't want to be the front man per se, and I need basically Simon, to be able to co-write, co-produce, sing, play drums to make my ideas realized, and the whole be greater than the sum of the parts. To be a band, that missing piece. Simon said he's been doing a lot of work, but always thinking the ultimate would be to have a band, with its chemistry and everything. Same thing for me. For years, decades, I've been really wanting to have that missing piece. And now that we have it, it's just so that the ideas just flow. So to answer your question, it took us probably about, once we kind of got started, about maybe, we wrote in the studio too while we were recording.
That's the thing. We came in with a lot of material. I mean, individually, not just myself and Dave, but Matt Dorsey as well brought a lot material in, and that's the thing. We had actually so much material. At one point, we were thinking of doing a double album, which is extremely ambitious. Of course, now we have a lot of that material to sink back into for the next record, so that's all exciting.
Bonus tracks.
But even all that said, we still left some room there, just a little bit of wiggle room to surprise ourselves. To supersede our expectations of, and to give ourselves an opportunity to keep refining the sound of Contact.
Right.
It's one thing to come in material, but as a band, we needed to figure that out. We needed to flush that out, and we did that through a lot of jam sessions that ended up on the record. But they were great moments that I think with the Mega Point, we actually tried to go back and re-record that, and it was just like, nope.
Oh, yeah, that song was written on the spot.
It was a one-off.
Just
first
the music
take,
was written
take.
one take, and we just didn't even talk. I said one thing to Kelly. I just said, "Play this." Da 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 da. That's it. We just played, and then that recording is on the album, and then we wrote the lyrics around that. So that there's a good balance of spontaneous writing like that and sort of crafted writing brought to the table, and then sort of working it into the concept. But anyway, about 5 to 6 months.
Just dancing around.
Forget everything else.
We get there eventually.
Let's edit it down to that.
Yeah. interesting because, well, the drums are my first love, and will always be, at the root of all music that I've created. I'm just so passionate about. But and when I started writing music when I was in my teens, and I discovered a whole new part of what I can do in music, and I through the years over the last few albums I've found my voice, and I gotta say I enjoy singing just as much now. So for me I enjoy sitting behind the kit, but I also enjoy standing up front and engaging with the audience. And so for me it really is just, it's more about what do I need to do to what do I need to bring to this song. It's about the song. So on the stage on tour right now, I'm playing drums. I'm behind the kit for all the instrumentals, which is it's a lot of fun. I mean, I've intentionally created a situation where I can have my cake and eat it. I can play the drums, and I can be up front and sing, and I can enjoy the best of both worlds. But as I said earlier, when we get to a point where we can start playing the entire album, Mobius Slip is a great example where there's a lot of opportunity to drum and to sing, on stage. So, done it before. But. Steve and I first met when I was a baby, so I don't really remember that. But I was living in Germany at the time, and I went to one of the shows just to surprise him, really, just to say hi. I hadn't, seen him since I was a baby. So for me, it was just really important to make that connection, and I'd been listening to his record at the time, To Watch the Storms, and he was playing German. So went to the show, and we connected, and we spoke for, had a laugh for a couple hours, and promised to stay in touch. And during the production of Keep It Dark, we were working on this other song called Fast Forward the Future, which at the time we were actually going to put out an EP as the tribute, and of course we decided just to stick to the song. So Fast Forward the Future ended up being on my last solo record, but we had the idea, we contacted Steve and asked him if he'd like to contribute, and he was on tour at the time, but he said as soon as he gets off the tour, went to the studio, sent us a beautiful guitar solo, which of course made it onto the track. It was just a really nice moment to share. So when this Supper's Ready thing came up, it was an opportunity to return that favor.
Still a favor to us.
Yeah.
An honor.
And so that was really for me. Without I'm gonna say it's corny, but that was a childhood dream come true.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just great. It was just great to give something back and be a part of that. Appreciation, the celebration of such fantastic music that's inspired all of us. And be part of that. So. And it's great because we're going to be guesting with him in Chicago.
Yeah.
In September in Chicago for a couple nights, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, September 20th and 21st. We're playing. Simon and I are going to guest with Steve Hackett, and then actually the 19th we play a Sound of Contact show as well. But yeah, my point was just to say that it's like we are definitely influenced by that, and actually Mobius Slip in some ways is a nod to Supper's Ready. I mean, it's a 20-minute song, and it has this triumphant ending, but the lyrical approach is quite different. It's prog, but it's coming from a different angle. Like Simon was saying, more of a I don't know, just a different style. Maybe more similar to Pink Floyd. So I mean, if you analyze it, you could probably see some of the roots, but at the end of the day,
it's all
we don't think about
hindsight.
that exactly. It just kind of comes out that way. Say, how would we want it to be, and that's pretty much how we come up with music.
I have crossed between the planes.